Hi, this is problem 17 in lesson 9.2. The directions in this question say to verify the divergence of the series. This is a significant hint because I know right now that I can remove the idea of using partial fractions and finding a telescoping series from the list. That is a technique that is always going to give you a finite answer if it works, and therefore would be a convergent series. I know the nth term test always goes with divergent, so it might be that one. Geometric can be either convergent or divergent depending on the value of r, so that's in play as well. Now I'm going to look at the question and I'm going to do some algebra. So I notice that 4 is in this problem in a couple different places, and one thing that I notice is that there is an additional factor of 4 in the denominator. So in particular, one thing that I would do, and this is not the only way to do the problem, but I take this request as a request for me to do the problem, the way I did it, so I am, is you can write 4 to the n plus 1 as 4 times 4 to the n. It might be more clear to you why this works if I were to write a 1 here. Now, if you're multiplying things that have the same base, you add the exponents. That is a rule that I think you employ quite often, actually. And then I'm going to take that 4 that's in the denominator, this one right here, and separate it out. So I have 1/4, then I have 4 to the n plus 3 over 4 to the n. Okay? And now I'm pretty sure as I look at this that I want to be using the nth term test. So the more that I think about it, I'm actually going to consider the limit of this expression now that I've tweaked the series a little bit. And I'm going to say, well, let's look at this and think of it as 1/4. And then you can split this up into two separate fractions. 4 to the n over 4 to the n is 1. And then I have 3 over 4 to the n. I am finding this limit as n goes to infinity. So as n gets bigger, 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 this part is going to also get bigger, which means that this part that I've now highlighted will be shrinking, getting smaller and closer to 0, which means all of this would be getting closer to 1, which means that my limit is 1/4. And you know what's special about 1/4? It's not 0. Okay, so then I would write my classic sentence, since the limit, and this expression that I had was equivalent to what I started with, so I'm going to write it like that, the way that it was in the question originally. Since that limit is 1/4, and 1/4 is not 0, then the series diverges by the nth term test.